It is July 9th, 2025, and I am in Coralville, Iowa, which is outside of Iowa City, and I am at the Antique Car Museum of Iowa. So let's go inside and check out all these beauties they have on display. So here we are at the Antique Car Museum of Iowa. Let's go inside. See what we got on display. We start off with a 1909 Mason. Kind of looks like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Almost. They got all these signs in the way here. Let's see, this is a 1929 Ford Model A, 1929 Ford Roadster, convertible cabriolet. Doesn't say the year. Oh, there it is, 1931 Ford. Well, I see no signs, but this says Antique Automobile Club, so that's probably an add-on at some point in time. This was a 1928 Ford Coupe. Tucked in the corner is a 1928 Ford Town Sedan. Old pickup truck. It has a brand new top on it, so it kind of doesn't match. What else do we got in here? But these cars are fun to look at. A 1913 Ford Model T. My grandfather was born in 1912. Grandmother was born in 1910. So this is a 1931 Ford Roadster. Let's go peek at the little gas station display they have here. Tire and battery service, authorized Studebaker service. The old cash register. All kinds of old oil cans, wax. Some modern memorabilia mixed in with some vintage material. Who can remember the old codger at the gas station? Or oil cans. And what is this? Looks like Model A tools. They apparently, let's see, what is this? Original Model A tools collection of Dean Oaks. So these have been apparently restored. Some old pedal cars, scooters. This would have been fun to have as a kid. price, $299. It even has an engine on there. About the old fire truck. Bicycles. The Whizzer. That's a pretty big engine just for a bicycle. Look at that. Well, let's see. Let's look at the years on this. A 1905 Holzman High-Wheeler. This is a 1912 Sears. I've seen a couple of Sears vehicles at other museums. 1908 Economy. 1899 Hayes Apson. 1912 International Harvester. It says school bus on the side. So we got seats in here. This has obviously been refurbished. Hard to say what's original and what isn't. A 1910 Brush. Looks like this was sitting in a barn for a very long time. Probably, I would doubt if it runs, but it exists and we get to look at it. 1909 International High-Wheeler. Kind of looks like they threw an engine on an old wagon. Oh, there's a lot more cars here. 1922 Chevrolet camping scene. So we got a bed that comes out of a suitcase kind of a thing. There's our touring car. Some kind of carrying cab. Boy, I am at a loss for words. So we have essentially a suitcase for your food. I'll just go down one line and go down the other. 1904 Ford Model F. (1911) Cadillac. A 1912 white. A 1916 Haynes. A 1925 Rickenbacker. A 1922 Chalmers. This window has seen better days. 1929 Pierce Arrow. You can look at the engine on this one. How'd you like to have be wrapped around a rocket? Roy Lewis of West Branch, Iowa, land speed record vehicle. So Lewis, at age 67, laid claim to being the first to break the 300 mile per hour mark in 2006. This is a 1942 Crosley Liberty sedan. Let's go back down the other side of the aisle here. 1928 Whippet. 1930 Plymouth Model 30U. It's kind of a boxy shape, but that gives you more room. I bet you it's a little roomy in there. And the light is shining on this sign, so let's see, 1929 Hupmobile. Let's get a better look at it this way. There we go. 1929 Chevrolet four-door sedan. 1930 Chevrolet Coupe. 1920 Essex. 1924 Hupmobile. And 1910 Maytag. Let's go check this out. Look at that, we've got the crank on the side, sitting right on top of the engine. It's got to be the original upholstery. The rubber on the horn has been changed over time. In 1911 Maxwell. 1913 RCH. Well, there's so many different kinds of cars back in the day. And here they got a photo. We had a girl pose for the car. 1909 REO. 1903 Cadillac Runabout. In a 1910 DeMott. Okay, onward to the next row. Okay, let's continue on. Here we have a 1926 Franklin. 1931 Auburn. 1933 Dodge Roadster. We have a different kind of a hood ornament on here. What is it? Looks like a ram. (1934) Ford Cabriolet. 1933 LaSalle. Looks to be pretty original. Somewhat beat up. But sometimes to keep the car in its original state can be fun. And you also get to see what it actually looked like back in the day. It may be worn, but it's original. A 1939 Hanomag. Now, I never heard of that before. What is this? It's a German company. So 1939. And those of you who know your history, that was the year World War II started. So this car may have good stories to tell. 64 Volkswagen Beetle. The top has obviously been replaced, but that's okay. Those don't last. 1924 Dodge Brothers Touring. 1927 how do you pronounce that? Erskine. 1934 Plymouth. Now we got cars squeezed in the back. Let's finish this line first, and then we'll go squeeze in. I don't see this is a Hudson, but I don't see what the year is. But we got is anyone old enough to remember these kind of speakers at the drive-in? 1964 Studebaker. We got the diner tray on there. Girl on roller skates brought it up to you, maybe. Before we move on, let's do these. We got some, let's see, 1927 Indian. I don't see a sign for this one. This is a 1929 Indian Scout. The light is a little harsh on here. Can I get up to that? Here is a 1954 Hudson Hornet. And we have what you would call an air conditioner from back in the day. (1958) Ford Fairlane Skyliner. That's kind of neat, kind of fun, but at the same time, don't get to store a whole lot back there. Okay, let's squeeze in here and see what we got. 1937 Pontiac. (1936 DeSoto). I'm tripping on the displays. I hope this is not a break it, you buy it place. 1956 Lincoln Premier. This thing is huge, absolutely huge. A 1935 Cadillac. 1937 Lincoln. A 1940 Chevrolet. And now comes the hard part. See if we can squeeze in here, get these other cars. Have to give me a minute. A 1908 Cadillac. And it's kind of a pickup truck. Cadillac making pickup trucks. Look at this here too. We got mud on the fenders. So this is a little rough looking. So it's been wiped down, but they didn't really, they didn't try to clean it too much. You got mud over here too. So it's interesting that it is in this current state. (1910 Ford Model T). 1908 Ford Model S. It had to be cold driving those in the wintertime. 1911 Elmore. But then again, horse and buggies weren't exactly heated either. 1920 Velie. It's spelled Velie. Very unusual window here. Very odd shape. There's 2 panes of glass there so you can adjust them to help keep you cool. The bottom, nothing blocks the bottom of the airflow. 1923 Gardner. A 1913 Rambler. Okay, gotta squeeze around some more in here. This is a 1924 Jordan. That looks like it was a very proud touring car back in the day. 1916 Chevrolet model 490. So the sign says 1916, but on the hood here they put 1913. I see no indication as to why those don't match. In 1926, a Buick Master 6. Now this has been fixed up really nice. And how do I get to this one? Oh, that's interesting how the hood doesn't, the hood opens on the side, not on the end. A 1941 Buick. The engine is a Buick Fireball. Valve in head Dynaflash 8. A 1965 Mercury Comet. A 1951 Nash. We got the little air vents right here. I bet you get a lot of leaves and bugs in those. See, this was that was a 55 Ford Thunderbird. Here's a 54 Chevy Corvette. How about a 1962 Cushman scooter? 1924 Ford Model T. Got a car up on the rack here. What do we got going on over here? An A.O. Smith Flyer. I've seen these before in museums. Okay, why do we have a log on this? 1924 Ford Model T. This is one of the many vehicle casualties from the August 10th, 2020 storm. So, storm damage, and we just kind of left it as is. (1966) Ford Mustang. 1921 National Sextet Phaeton. And if I pronounce that wrong, not much I can do. 1931 Duesenberg Model J. Just look at that engine. That engine is just absolutely huge. (1931) Lincoln Dual Cowl Phaeton. (1915) Milburn Electric. So if I go look in the back here, we got our batteries. You know, now that I think about it, you know, electric cars back in at the turn of the century was not kind of a one-off. There was a number of people experimenting with that. But how did they charge them? They just go up to the wall, drive up to the house and run a wall socket cord out to that. You know, you didn't exactly have extension cords, at least the way I'm thinking, the way we have them now. And this is a 1902 Knight. So there you have it. The Antique Car Museum of Iowa. Some really, really impressive vehicles in here. Some are really, really fixed up nice. It's also really nice to see some of them are in their original condition too. You know, sometimes, you know, they may be kind of rotted away or rusting, but you see what it looked like, what it actually looked like. You know, when you fix these up, you reupholster them, you might deviate, and like this one here. I'm not going to touch this, but I can't tell if that's leather or vinyl. But is that original? Were these actually cloth seats back in the beginning? So when you refurbish your car, you might deviate from what it actually used to look like. In some ways that's okay, but then you kind of lose the ability to look at a vehicle and see how it was in its original state. So I'm just kind of rambling, thinking out loud here. We already looked inside this one. So thanks for watching. Antique Car Museum of Iowa, very nice collection, very impressive pieces they have here. So we will see where my camera will take me next.